Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
No, none taken.
That is right, none taken. I am the Movie Moron. This is the Movie Moron podcast, and I am your host, Easton.
Parents, very irritating. Yeah. Can I take them out? Ironhide, you know we don't harm humans. What is with you? Well, I'm just saying we could. It's an option.
I agree, it is an option. And then with us, as always, is our practical co-host himself, Trevor. Oops. This mouse does not work on felt.
I need you to be quiet for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, okay? Please, I'm begging you. You got it. You make a racket. I can't concentrate.
I just need 10 minutes to trash this movie before you talk, okay?
Great.
Okay. No, that's
Good.
That might be true. There might be 10 minutes where I go off. We'll see.
Hey, that's okay.
But we are talking about the new Transformer movies. Transformers, something about beasts. I don't know. This is the 9th, 12th,
7th.
73rd. Okay. There needed to be 3, but we're on 7. Rise of the Beast. I'm sorry. I'm already going off hot. I just got out of the theater. I drove home from the theater 10 minutes. I got home from the theater 10 minutes ago.
Gross.
Yeah, and our theater attendees were also gross and awful and annoying.
Oh.
There was a less than 1-year-old baby sitting right next to me.
Oh, no.
And a Dolby
You were
sitting-
an adult. People, give your baby some ear protection. It's so loud in there.
with a car seat, especially this movie.
Yeah.
This movie was loud, which is fine. I don't mind it, but
Yeah.
it's
Not
a
for your
baby.
Baby. He's
It's
a
a
baby.
Car seat in the aisle. Like, just don't.
Yeah. And
This is the purpose of babysitters.
we're not saying don't go to the movies or don't feel like you can't take your kid to the movie, but just not a Dolby. Like that.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't think you should take a 1-year-old, under 1-year-old, to the theater. That doesn't make sense.
I think it's a probably case by case, but I mean, if your babies, they typically tend to cry, and
Well, they're gonna need something. They're gonna need
something.
They're gonna need attention.
It's a 2-hour
or they're gonna
movie.
cry. They're gonna want to jump around. I mean, that's what was happening in the corner of my eye. I saw a bobbing baby every 15 minutes because she needs attention.
It's
She
a
doesn't
baby.
know what the hell is happening on screen. I don't even know what the hell is happening on screen. She doesn't know. She doesn't care what's happening. She just is in a dark room with loud noises and can't even see her mom that's 2 inches away from her face. I mean,
Come on, baby.
anyway, so that's what I'm coming out of, as well as watching a movie that did not need to be made. So, okay, well, you're starting to get my general thoughts. I guess I'll just get into it. Yeah, the general thoughts are I don't understand why this was made. It doesn't, the entire premise doesn't make sense. This is supposed to be a prequel to what happens before the entire Transformers universe that kicks off with Shia LaBeouf, and then what happens after them. I think Bumblebee is the only thing that's supposed to happen before this.
Gotcha.
Which is the one movie I haven't seen, but it doesn't matter. The only reference you get to the Bumblebee movie is the fact that Optimus Prime says that a one-off line that, like, we don't trust humans. I know you've had a good one, Bumblebee.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that connects this movie to Bumblebee. And I mean, I haven't watched the Transformer movies in a while. However, it did not seem like a lot happened before those movies. It seemed like they were kind of quietly sitting there waiting for their opportunity to get off the world or protect it or whatever. And then apparently there was a world-eating monster, planet-eating
Omnicron.
Yeah, that almost ate all of Earth if they were like a quarter of a second later. That all happened before. And this was just like the pinnacle of, we've got to create something sci-fi to make a story work. So let's just add all the sci-fi mumbo jumbo wording to put something together that makes people fight each other and then get the pieces, why they travel, and then boom, the big world leader is here.
Right.
Like every single just cliche, stupid sci-fi word that you can think of was put in this to make this go. I'm not saying there weren't fun parts. But it's just overly stupid. I'm sure it knows it's stupid and is just expecting to make it off of the title and the action.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole entire beast aspect of it, I didn't like it from the trailers. I didn't like it from the concept, and I didn't like it in the film. The whole point of the Transformers were supposed to be they were blending into reality by being cars, and now we just have these 70-ton gorillas, monsters that are apparently living with indigenous people perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And have been throughout history with no ever sightings or recordings by anybody. It's just they wanted to make mech monster beast dudes, which I mean doesn't even make sense because they were on a different world, and apparently this other world just has hawks, gorillas, cheetahs, and a rhino,
right.
but monster versions of it.
Yeah.
Like it's just nothing landed in my opinion. I thought it was all just people sitting in a room being like, what is big and monstery, and Godzilla and Kong made lots of money. Let's put a gorilla in a transformer and have them beat them up. But we still have to have Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
He's our dude.
Yeah.
We got to find a way to get him in it. He's going to be a bitch for like 90% of the movie, but we got to get him in. And he's not going to progress or get stronger at all throughout the movie, but he's still going to win at the end for no reason other than he's Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
He got manhandled 3 times, but this time he does win for no other reason. I mean, that's kind of a spoiler, but also, this is a prequel.
Yeah.
All the characters that you know in the other movies are still alive. So.
Right. Well, and so it is a reboot. So the Bumblebee movie rebooted the universe, and Rise of the Beast confirms it's a rebooted. But and to start off, I mean, I'm not a Transformers fan. I didn't like play with them growing up. I didn't, I didn't watch the show.
I didn't watch. Actually, no, I did watch the show.
Yeah.
I watched the show growing up. I had toys, but they were just like cool mech things.
Yeah.
I really like the first 2 Transformers.
The Michael Bay movies, especially the first 2.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember enjoying pretty well. No, man, I agree with you on a lot of this. It's the attention to detail in the story is not very strong, and they have, I think, these loose ideas of like, and the one person I know that like is a big Transformers fan that went and saw this was like, this is great. And I'm actually a little shocked to see it's not like super well liked on Letterboxd. It's like, it seems like most people are ranking it a 3, but
it's a 3.1.
Yeah.
It's more than what I thought it would be.
I know it feels high, and I'm not exactly sure why. So like you mentioned, this happens in the beginning of the movie. There's, it's these animals that are animals on this. I never really understood. They're in another dimension, or they're in
just a different world,
a different planet. Yeah,
just different planet.
And so, they kind of have this throwaway line of like, well, our purpose as the Maximals is we always want to preserve life wherever we go. And it was this kind of like nature, whatever. But these guys have been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and they look exactly like these animals have evolved to on Earth. Like we have a rhino, and all they had to do, I think all they had to do was make them just their ultimate forms or whatever they shout out to make them into people robots, and then have them just have the exact same opening sequence, have them land on Earth, see those animals, and then copy them. Yeah.
No,
but for
totally
some
agree.
reason they took this weird route of, and it's the same.
It's like, imagine going into Optimus Prime's world and they're all just cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's not the case. They landed as robots and they were like, oh, we can disguise ourselves as these perfectly well. Planes, cars, tanks, whatever.
Trains, automobiles.
Yep.
I think we should. I mean, I think I'll be able to speak a little bit more freely about this in spoilers, but yeah, just the attention to detail is scarce to non-existent, in the movie as a whole. And yeah, man, it's just not very good.
Yeah, it's also just over 2 hours. It really drags.
It does,
that last act. The first act drags. The second act was a little better.
Yeah, there's some good action set pieces in the middle.
And then the third act just feels like just get on with it.
Yeah,
just
and
like then after the end, they've got another 10 minutes. And it's like, we don't need this.
Did you stick around? Oh, yeah. Well, we do need it for what they want to do, apparently.
Yeah. Well, no. I know there's a after credit scene, but I mean, like, even before that.
Oh, no, that's what I'm talking. I didn't watch the after credit scene. I'm talking about
okay.
that. Yeah, that ended, a little epilogue at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, like, there was just, it was, I don't know, maybe it was only 5 minutes, but
Whatever
it was like,
it is,
we're
yeah.
done.
Yeah,
Just-
it moves really slowly. The pace is not fast, and you have no idea what
For
it's
an
building
action
toward.
movie.
Yeah, and they there is a turn of hand where it's like, oh, this is what they're, but like it's not worth it because there was very little hint that was what it was leading toward.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man. So we've talked a little bit about the robots. Humans, as far as they go, I mean, Anthony Ramos is fine. I'm a little. He's kind of been Lin-Manuel Miranda's like protege the past few years, and he. I was kind of, when I saw this, I was like, okay, good for you for getting into like Transformers is a bit. I mean, people know that movie; it's a bigger name, but I was kind of like, man, you get involved in a property that Lin-Manuel Miranda has no hand in, and you got Transformers. Like, but I mean, good for you, I guess. He was fine. All the acting in it was fine. Pete Davidson's as a Transformer. I saw an article before going. I had kind of higher hopes. I saw an article going into this where they were like, Pete Davidson's Transformer Mirage steals every scene, and I was like, does he? With his weird, dry little New Jersey voice or Staten Island voice.
I think it took me 10 minutes to realize it was Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was Pete Davidson.
It feels
There
like
was
he's phoning it in
There
so
was
much.
eventually a line where I was like, wait, that sounds like Pete Davidson. And then I had to really listen. I'm like, yeah, that is Pete Davidson. But it does all just feel flat.
Yeah. And I mean, they always
Especially for his character who's supposed to be this over-the-top, jokey,
sports car.
yeah, charismatic
Right.
dude.
I did like, so how they get to him. Because
I don't know. I thought that was pretty dumb too.
I mean, yeah, it
And
is.
even how
but
they get
it was,
the human in it also felt dumb.
But it was what it was. And I was like, okay, we got to get into the cars eventually anyway. So like, this is fine. I'm not saying it's good, but it was serviceable anyway. But yeah, and then I mean, the biggest thing that I saw in that, because then we went into that car chase. But man, even sorry, I'm kind of stumbling over my words. Looking at the thing as a whole, I think the biggest thing that I liked is in the trailer when Mirage has Anthony Ramos's character and they're driving, and then the car transforms around him, and all of a sudden it's facing forward again. I was like, okay, that's cool. I want more of that kind of stuff, and then we didn't get anything like that after that.
Yeah.
So
it also just didn't make any sense because he was supposed to be blending in, and you just have a car transforming in the middle of a very busy bridge.
Mm-hmm.
In a car chase.
Killing cops. Those cops are dead. Like,
are you telling me that you can't drive 100 miles an hour into a cross rail and be perfectly fine?
Yeah, and have the car lift up on its back legs once it gets hit.
Are you telling me that a metal bar can't go through your face and you survive?
My goodness. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's... sounds like you. Maybe we should test it out.
But, yeah, man, I know. This was very underwhelming.
Yes, I wasn't expecting a lot. I actually totally forgot this was even happening until it was coming up and we were trying to figure out podcast stuff. And then I heard a lot of people like were like excited to go see it. And I was like, well, maybe it's not gonna be like, maybe it's gonna be, because the last few that we've gotten have all felt like they've been phoned in. Even like,
and people like the Bumblebee one.
Yeah, but I mean, even like even the ones that I dislike, which were the I don't know, Last Night and 4 or whatnot.
Yeah.
They were still like fine. I mean, they had Mark in it, and he was fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was. I don't know. When did they switch off of Michael Bay?
I think after 4 is Dark of the Moon, I think. And then maybe it's 3. I don't know, man. I remember the first one really, really well. I think second one is I don't even know, man. Good gracious.
Dark Moon. He did Age of Extinction.
Uh-huh.
Revenge of the Fallen. So he did 4.
Revenge of the Fallen is
He did
3,
5.
I think. Okay.
Yeah, because he did Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, The Dark Moon, Age of Extinction, and then The Last Night.
So 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Bumblebee was 6. Now this is 7. Okay, that makes sense.
I've seen all but one of Michael Bay's movies.
Wow.
I have not seen The Rock.
You like the explosions, huh?
I do. I very much do. And to that point, like I said, The Last Night and Age of Extinction weren't good, but they were still enjoyable.
Sure.
I think they took out Michael Bay, and that's where it fell off. Like, because they lost what it was. These movies were supposed to be, I mean, almost like the Fast and Furious kind of catch of like hot chicks, hot cars, hot action.
Yeah.
And they took out 2 of those things. Maybe even 3. The action in this is pretty lackluster as well. I do think the CGI still looks good. I mean, kudos to the Transformers universe, like outperforming, the Marvel and DCU, stuff with their CGI. Because I mean, it's legitimately just, I mean, you have huge robots. I mean, they have to be like, you can't practical effect these things.
Yeah.
So it's all CGI.
Yeah.
And it's looked good since
2003, I think. Is one of the first ones.
Is it real? 7.
7, okay.
It's looked good since 2007. And this one still does look good. It still does have that. I don't remember seeing a lot of the action scenes or the CGI stuff and being like, that looks like garbage.
Right.
And I think that multiple times when I'm watching current superhero stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kudos for them for doing that well, but that might be the only thing that really, I mean, I guess the score had some moments that were like, well, like they just had like the Rock moments, and like it was fine.
This had the worst, not the worst. It was good, but I don't think they did a good job with it. So did you see the trailer for this?
Yeah.
So the song they used with the trailer was Biggie's "Hypnotize," or not "Hypnotize." I don't remember what it was, but it's the "If You Don't Know Now You Know" song, and the end of that phrase, if you listen to the unedited version, you would know has a derogatory term at the end of that, and that specific lyric played like 4 or 5 times in the trailer, and I was like,
what are we doing?
Yeah, I was like, okay, no, I'm all for like unedited and you shouldn't censor art and stuff like that. I think that's great, but you're peddling a Transformers movie with this, and I guess it was supposed to be like a 90s vibe, and even the last Transformers coming June 10th or whatever. And if you don't know, now you know. Silence. And so, man, anyway, just a little quick thing. So I was just thinking, the director, Stephen Caple Jr., is that his name? I just had it. I didn't look it up, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's only done this in Creed 2.
Creed 2. And here's kind of what I think, and The Land, whatever that is.
I mean, I'm sure they're like smaller.
Sure, yeah. But, you go from doing Creed 2 that has, I said Rocky Balboa, that has Sylvester Stallone heavily invested in producing, and you're working with Michael B. Jordan, who's a phenomenal actor. And then you go and it's all authentic, it's all real. There's no CGI. It's all fighting stuff. And then you go to Transformers.
This guy's got to know someone, right?
I would think.
There's no way you go from
Creed 2 to Rise of the Beast.
Well, there's no way you get Creed 2, directing Creed 2 out of nowhere.
Out of nothing, yeah.
You've got to know someone. I mean, like, I understand, like, The Land might be good. I don't know, but it looks like it might be a short.
Yeah.
Might be, I don't know. It's got 1.2 thousand watches on Letterboxd, and it's from 2016. I don't see a runtime.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's in here somewhere, but.
Well, and so my point is, you go from working on something that has, I mean, not that they don't have money, but that has really A-list personnel that are maybe helping guide you a little bit, maybe helping, steer you in the right direction, offer good feedback, to what is essentially a franchise movie that's all CGI and very little personal directing. You can't walk onto set and be like, hey, Optimus, can you punch this guy with your left hand instead so we can get this shot better? Like, a lot of that is directing from like the computer room and the editing studio or whatever. And so I wonder if that has something to do with maybe the lack of attention to what was happening.
It also has 4 additional directors.
Oh my goodness.
So,
like assistant directors?
No, it's legit additional directing.
Weird.
So he's the main director, but it also, so I guess that means I would guess that means during different parts throughout the post-production and production, all of that. Yeah, there were different directors that did it, but he did the majority of it.
Right.
So that might also be a big piece. I mean, I don't understand why movies can't just get a director and stick with it. Movies are better that way. Trilogies are better that way. Disney, are you listening? Yeah.
Yeah, man. But anyway, you want to get into spoilers?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean, we're at 20 some minutes, so it's not bad to move on.
We don't have Tristen, so.
Yeah. She we had a long weekend trip, and she was like, I don't want to. I asked her, I was like, do you even really want to see and review this, or would you rather just stay home? She was like, yeah, I'll stay home.
You didn't. I didn't get that choice.
Well, then it would just be me talking. I can't do that.
No, well, and that was actually me on Friday. I was like, man, I could wait until like Sunday to watch this, but I'd so much rather just watch this now and get it over with.
And you got to work with Trent, so
I did.
You got paid. You got paid to watch it.
I got paid to watch it. Yep. So
your ticket was probably paid for. So
yep.
See,
and my popcorn
and her popcorn. So
thank you.
I'm not sure if that was a fair trade or not, but
it wasn't. I'll just tell you straight up, it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when you're doing this podcast, you have to watch some not fun stuff. Well, I guess we'll do our recommendations here. I think it's 2 big old fat no's.
It's a big old fat no. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to put words in your mouth, but that's the vibes I'm catching.
Yep.
Especially right now with all this. I mean, you still have Guardians in theaters. You still have Across the Spider-Verse, which I know I have fought on Twitter with people about, but it's still a great movie and definitely worth going to watch it in theaters. So, and now they've fixed all the audio. So
there you go. Good.
Yeah, that fix came out, I think, this last weekend.
Good.
Because they said that they had messed up some of the audio mixing
the first
stuff.
10 minutes or something.
No, the whole thing.
Oh,
there were
yikes.
a lot of people complaining that they couldn't hear voices during like a large part of the movie.
I heard mostly.
But I didn't have a huge problem with it, but there were a lot of people that do or that did, and they sent out an audio
updated version.
Yeah,
a patch.
Yeah, it sounded like they knew that might have been an issue, so they already had it ready, which is kind of weird. Yeah. I heard. I just saw some random stuff.
And it might have been something like, yeah, this audio sounds good on our system that can handle it. So maybe they had to like back off on some stuff or like just remix some things, but whatever. Yeah,
but they did. So don't think it's gonna hit $1 billion though. Everyone was saying it was gonna beat our Super Mario Bros. But nope.
Man, I get so upset and angry that people reduce film and movies
the box
to
office.
How much money it made. That's so upsetting to me, man. Like, I got into a fight with somebody recently into it. I wasn't fighting him. I was just responding, and you can check it too. I'll even pull up that tweet right now. But he said something about like, well, that movie didn't even make that much money, so how could a good be good? And I was like, dude, Fight Club didn't make any money. Shawshank Redemption didn't make any money. Just because a movie doesn't make any money doesn't mean that it's bad.
Yeah, and didn't make money in the box office.
Yeah, and then he blocked me.
And guess what? Really bad movies have made a lot of money
A
in
lot
the
of
box
money,
office.
yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I'm talking to you, Avatar: Way of Water.
I'm not. I like you still.
But Blade Runner 2049 is one of those movies that flopped in the box office,
yeah.
didn't make any money, and is like
People say it's better than the
amazing.
original. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. And there are a plethora of people that like a lot of like film people have it in their top tier list because of how well it is. And I mean it's yeah. I mean, it is Denis Villeneuve, and I think it's his best work. So,
Good.
And he's done fucking
Best
Dune
Dune?
and
Yeah.
Arrival and
Although
Prisoners.
have you seen
and-
some of the Dune stuff, some of the Dune discourse on Twitter recently? People are now they're coming out of the shadows a year and a half later.
saying they don't like it?
No, they're saying the first half of David Lynch's Dune is better than Dune Part
There is
1.
not
that
a
Villeneuve did.
single. There's not a single shot in David Lynch's movies that even comes in the atmosphere of Denis Villeneuve's Dune. David Lynch's Dune was not Dune. I haven't read the books, so I guess I can't really justly say that. But that stuff was just random. That was just David Lynch wanting to do David Lynch shit, and so
Yeah.
he just took this other person's story and created this crazy, stupid sci-fi mind mess.
Red-haired people.
Yeah, out of that story and created it because David Lynch is a crazy madman and he just does what he wants, which is fine.
Yeah.
I don't hate him or hate all of his movies.
Yeah.
But Dune sucked balls. So
And people, I think it sparked. I know we're getting way off track here. I'm sorry, but I think it got
anything to get me away from talking about this movie.
I think it got sparked because when they released Austin Butler as Fade Routha, people are not super happy with the design choice. Is it David Lynch? Did I say that wrong?
No, it's David
Okay.
I just wanted to see his other movies.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Which I've only seen one of.
Yeah.
No, I've seen Wild Heart. It's been a long time.
But so the image of Fade Routha that Austin Butler's playing came out, and people were like, "This is not very good. This looks nothing like David Lynch's Fade Routha, who does look like, I mean, he looks like a warrior, like he's supposed to be or whatever." But I think that's what sparked that conversation. Is the Dune Part 2 trailer came out, and hardcore Dune people are going after it. Is what happened.
Dude, Austin Butler looks fucking
he looks
dope.
dope. I'm so excited. He looks so good.
Yeah, I'm ready to see his range because I've liked him since he was in this stupid MTV show called the Shannara Chronicles. That's where I first started watching him.
Yeah.
And the first season was dope. I loved it, and it was him. It's a sci-fi MTV. I think it was MTV. It could be something else. But yeah, I loved that. I started watching him from that, and then when I saw him in Elvis, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be bad, and he blew me away, because like he was good in that movie, but he wasn't like, or he was good in that show, but I wasn't expecting like that kind of jump.
Right.
And yeah, he killed it. So now I'm ready to see a different kind of range from him. And
He was apparently in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
yeah, he's Denver, or no, Dallas.
I don't remember that character.
You remember Dallas?
Mm-mm.
He's the dude that comes in.
To replace
No. He's Marlon Manson's crew, or Marilyn Manson, whatever.
Maybe
the Manson. It's Manson, right? That's
Marilyn Monroe.
no.
Oh, I don't know.
The
Austin Butler plays Tex.
Tex, not Dallas. Yeah.
I mean,
but
that's
he's
close though.
Yeah, I know. Well, the whole line is like, "What's your name?" He says, "I'm the devil." And it's like, no, it's stupider than that. Tex, yeah. But he's the guy that breaks into their house at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's
gotcha.
the one with the gun and the two people. I thought it's a Manson. It's the Mansons, right?
I think maybe I don't
Yeah.
remember, man.
Nonetheless, it's one of those crazy cultists, and I'm pretty sure it's the Mansons. But nonetheless, yeah, he was in that, and he was good, but he was a minor character.
Yeah,
but he did a really good job. But
so I guess the only thing I've seen him in then is that, and then in Elvis, yeah, which he blew me away in Elvis. He is the best part of that movie.
yeah, no, there's a lot of good things about Elvis. I definitely, according to Letterboxd, that's one of the movies that's like the top 10 movies that I have ranked below.
Oh, below the average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I only have it as a 2-star.
Yep.
Oh, I have him in a lot.
Oh, good.
I have him. I've seen him in 2 other movies. The Dead Don't Die, dumb movie, but comical.
Yeah.
The Alien in the Attic. Well, that's animated. Okay, well, that's our recommendations. We went off track, but we weren't going to talk about...
It is what it is.
We're probably not going to talk about Transformers all that much longer, so you got some extra content of us
There you go.
talking about some random shit.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about spoilers right after this review. So if you've seen and you care, pause it and come back if you decide to self-harm yourself.
Don't
The
say
right
that. What?
By going and seeing this movie.
Oh my goodness. No.
That's self-harm. Torture. That's the word I was looking
Torture.
for. Torture
there
yourself.
we go. If you want to torture yourself.
Yeah, if you want to torture yourself. And then come
Self-harm's
back.
a little too, that's a little too.
I mean, to be fair, it is the same, but because you're deciding to go torture yourself. But nonetheless, now's our break, and we'll be right back after this break. All right, we're back.
We're back. Transformers, more than meets the eye.
Good.
That's all I
Yes.
knew about Transformers growing up.
That's all you knew?
That's all I knew.
I don't know. I legit did watch the TV shows. I don't remember anything about it because I was like 7.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I like actively watched them.
Yeah.
but-
So here since you asked, here's my biggest problem with this. Like, and it happened right from the beginning. They're on the planet, whatever. They're on Maximal Planet, and Scourge shows up, and he's like, "Where's the MacGuffin?" And I'm like, "Oh, is this?" So it's the same as every other Transformers movie. Is there's some ancient technology?
Where's the doohickey?
Exactly. Yeah.
Where's
And-
the doohickey that will destroy Earth?
Yep. And let's hide it. And then they hide it, and then they find it, and then
The hiding is so funny.
Yeah.
Because they hide it, and then the hiding, it like stops them from finding it for like, I think 12 seconds.
Right.
And they just, it's right there.
Doesn't it like
Literally shoot a beam up into the
that
sky.
only Transformers can see? That's so stupid.
All because it broke through the shell.
Yeah.
No, nothing makes sense. There's no logic being used.
No.
I think was this the first AI generated script? I'm not because there was no logic that was seen throughout the entirety of this film. It was literally just, we need this to happen, so this is happening, so that we can get to this next action sequence, so this is happening. Also, the over dramatic human stuff was all baloney bullshit.
Well, and there's a moment when they're talking on the plane and they're like, "Hey, you know what? When I get to that thing, let's destroy it." And 5 feet away is literally all the robots.
Oh no, I definitely thought about that. I was like, are one of them going to say something? Like,
Right?
hey.
I was waiting for someone to be like, excuse me.
Yeah. Also, another thing that makes me lose faith in humanity, my theater was cracking up several times throughout this movie.
Oh, no.
Several times. Like, there were a few, there were times
I remember not cracking up. I remember laughing a few times.
I think it got me a few,
yeah.
but that's it.
Yeah. A few
But I had legit, theaters cracking up
yeah.
moments. And I'm like, oh my God.
Man, if you want to see the state of what society thinks is good, theaters are the place to do it, man.
Which is funny because you go watch something good and it's crickets.
Yeah, right. Ugh.
Well,
I mean, yeah, and then there's just so many things that, like, like we said earlier, it just they happen, and there's no real rhyme or reason or logic. Like how they get down to Peru, which okay, whatever, they figured that out. That is, I will say, I do like the museum fight. When the Omnicron, they call them something. They're not Decepticons. They're like Terrabots or Terraformers or something. I don't remember, but they when they show up to the museum, I was like, okay, this fight is okay. It was because we finally got what I was there to see, which was giant robots fighting each other.
My whole problem is that like there's just so much inconsistency in the power of all of these these weapons. Because they even say like, oh, he kicked your ass because he has this technology that's given to him by the Omnicron. It's not what it is, but or is it?
It is, yeah. Omnicron.
It's Omnicron.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice. Yeah, they're connected somehow, and so they can. But go ahead.
Wasn't that like a COVID variant?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes, I think so.
That's why I thought it was messing it up.
No, it's
I thought it was something.
That Transformer is Omnicron.
Okay, that's why I thought I was just making that up in my head, connecting things that weren't real. But
Omicron, Omicron is the COVID variant. Omnicron is the yeah.
Well, too close.
That is very close.
Anyways, they said that they're stronger because they have this technology that's given to them by World Eater Omnicron, which doesn't even make any sense because.
Do any of the air Transformers eat?
Eat anything? No. And he has to eat planets.
Yeah.
As metal
fuel. Oh, yeah. As a metal. As
he's
like
a metal
as a robot.
being. Yeah. Also, I mean, we've never gotten to why there's metal sentient beings or how they've been birthed and how they're real.
They kind of do in the Michael Bay movie, the first few. They kind of talk about the Allspark is like the cradle of life, and that's what gives power to these metal whatever.
I guess they're not birthed. I think that thing they're just made, like touches them, and then it like creates life out of. Yeah,
because I remember. Like I said, man, I remember that first one so well. Yeah. There's a moment where it like hits it falls to the ground, and then like.
Well, I guess there was a Death Star, and the Allspark must have touched it, so it became a world eater.
Became Omnicron, yeah. But like a vending machine, turns into a transformer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not birthed or anything. They're just
But that could be. I mean, that could be all different. So, yeah. I mean. The big lead up, which I think will influence the way we talk about the rest of this movie, is Hasbro is gearing up to make a Toyverse, where at the end Anthony Ramos's character is recruited by G.I. Joe. I know. I made the exact same noise. And in any other movie where that happens, where this guy shows up and he's like, "Hey, you have this particular set." It was basically a Men in Black recruitment at the end is what it was. He's like, hey, you had this particular set of skills. Why don't you check this out? And then the wall opens up and they have like one weird looking ship.
Yeah.
And that's it. Every other movie I've ever seen is like this like airport hangar of like so many like planes and vehicles and technology. And it's like
their budget ran out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We have this one thing.
We want to do this after credit scene, but we've got $3,800.
Yeah.
So what can you do?
So apparently, did you stick around for the after credit scene?
I think so.
With Mirage. I didn't watch it.
Oh yeah.
Is he the suit still?
No, he apparently just fixes up a car and it becomes Mirage.
Oh, weird.
So I guess he had like the parts of the suit and he just threw it on a Porsche.
Yeah.
And it sparked him back to life. Doesn't make any sense.
Who knows, man? Well, and there's a moment when so the suit was cool. I did like the suit.
I hated the suit so much.
What I would have liked,
not Iron Man. Dude.
What I would have liked more is because he says something like, Mirage, are you there? Or Mirage, are you okay? And then he wakes back up, and I was like, oh my goodness, no one can die in this movie. But then he says, "I'm okay. You'll just have to take the wheel for a while." And I thought what that was going to be was like, I will be the suit, and you just have to like help me a little. Like we're going to work together. And then Pete Davidson has no more lines for the rest of the movie, and he's just in an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I didn't like.
Yeah.
I thought he was just going to turn into a Porsche and we're going to have Fast and Furious car.
Or turn into
doing
like a
crazy
motorcycle or something. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I
But
did not like the Iron Man suit. I think it fit well enough for like what they did with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought the idea that a transformer just kills itself and becomes a suit for a human is dumb.
Yeah.
So
And then he somehow being little mech suit human. That's a G.I. Joe thing, by the way, the mech suit. Yeah, and that's I think that's why they
mech
did
suits are dead transformers. Got it.
Probably maybe, I don't know. but that was weird. You know, you mentioned earlier Optimus Prime can like suddenly just take on Scourge and win. And they kind of make it seem like the reason he can do that is because because little human in the mech suit shoots him a few times.
Yeah.
And just like distracts him, I guess.
Which doesn't make any sense because in the last fight it was a 3v6.
Mm-hmm. Man,
and that's I mean, another problem is there's just no consistency in
like power level and who can do what.
I was burping, but I was gonna say Dragon Ball Z power levels. There's no consistency.
Right,
They're just like they're strong when they need to be strong, and they're weak when you need them to be weak, and you need the heroes to overcome. The good movies make reasons why they are able to then overcome, whether it's a training sequence, whether it's an upgrade in armor or whatever, whether it's now you add extra people, so now that you can be a team, and they like try to do that with like we're working together when they've been working together the entire movie.
Yeah.
Like they were never really working against each other.
Right.
They weren't like on the same page.
Right.
But they're working together because if they don't, they all die.
Yeah.
So they were still working together.
Yeah.
So. And
then, so they're all running into this final battle. And Optimus Primal, who I did like his design. I didn't particularly care for the face. It's too smooth. That's why I like the first movie so much, is because they just look like a bunch of metal pieces all kind of were in. But like these Transformers.
A lot of people thought Optimus Prime was way too sleek.
That's
like he looked thin.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the older models, he's
chunky.
Because he's a fucking semi-truck.
Yeah.
Well, now they get a real chunky boy as a freight plane.
Yeah, right. Oh, and that's my other thing. So
why doesn't he fight?
No. So like I said, I didn't see Bumblebee, so maybe this explains it. But
we both didn't see Bumblebee.
There's just these Transformers
four?
apparently that are just.
There's only 4. Only 4 come. But then there's apparently a 5th that just comes out of nowhere.
Is that the plane?
Yeah. And then there's a 6th.
The scientist weird
that comes out.
Dude.
Yeah. So it's like, why didn't they all come together when?
And why are they there in the first place? If Optimus Prime and his crew is trapped on Earth, where did these guys come from?
I think they all came with Optimus Prime
originally.
But that begs the question: when he said, "Hey, meet." Why did only 4 of them or 3 of them show up?
Yeah.
But then they called on another. Like, why didn't that other one show up the first time? Why'd they have to call on him later?
I don't know.
Because the story wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
They wanted another Transformer, so they said, "Oh, yeah, just have a Transformer fly him."
Well, and
because cars can't drive to Puerto Rico, so let's make a flying Transformer that's a freight plane.
Yeah.
A military freight plane that's coughing up its parts. And I thought that was funny.
We've already seen that, though. That was in one of the first 3 Transformers movie. There's an old World War II jet that has a cane, and he hacks up oil and whatever. And yeah. So I still haven't got to my main thing. Sorry. So we get to the final battle, and they're like, we're working together. And Optimus Primal goes, "Maximals, shift into Ultimates mode." And then they all turn into their cool little like like humanoid looking things, and then we never see them again. And because they're fighting faceless, who gives a crap
Minions.
little minions,
that they should mow through.
They should mow through. And those minions, like, okay, I get Omnicron, like, unleashing them in the little spheres, too. But there's a moment when, like, they meld out of the wall.
That was really stupid.
And then, like, why? So
it would have made much more sense if the 3 whatever evil mechs are started fighting them, and then he came through, and then they sent down the minions to help them, and that turned the tide of the.
Because that's what I want to see, the big ones fighting each other. I don't want to see faceless minion nonsense. And then that's another thing. So like they get the time warp whatever, and they put it and it creates this enormous, huge, crazy world-ending machine basically. And they're like, not only do they have the schematics to this thing that was just created, but they're also like, oh, and it has access points and it has tunnels all throughout the system. I'm like, of course it freaking does.
That the thing that came up out of nowhere was the same thing that was on the first.
Was it? Because I thought that thing had a ship at the top of it.
Yeah, but I think it was the same thing though. Like I think that's
it's
whatever.
It's still stupid that it just generates it out of nowhere.
Yeah. Whatever that thing that they were spending the whole movie for. I don't know what it's called, but the shard, or whatever. Like that creates this big thing that can either teleport you to another world or apparently teleport another world to you.
Okay.
So,
but
it does that. Yeah, that would be my. That's why they have schematics, but it's still just another thing to be like, we need something to get us here.
Yeah.
Let's create a map so that the humans can do something while the mechs are fighting.
Right. Yeah, man.
So basically, this is just a perfect movie showcasing what bad writing is.
Yeah.
So if you want to take some notes on how not to write,
this is it.
Yeah, this is it. You'll still get some enjoyment because there's some comedic bits and some action. But yeah, you'll, at least I mean our Letterboxd friends don't apparently agree, but you'll have to suffer through the plot and the writing and the story of this.
Yeah.
Everything with Anthony Ramos was rough.
Yeah. And I think it's just because they didn't know what to do with them. And like you said, they have this uneasy alliance the whole time.
What? I mean, just with him and his brother, they just they just tried so hard to create, like, we were having this character out of nowhere. We've got to create this really tragic, heartfelt, he's this family person who defected from the military or something crazy because of his brother, but we've got to make people feel really sad for him. And so he's fighting for more than just the world. But it's like anybody's going to be fighting for the world not to end. You don't have to have this extra bit. And it's like Shia LaBeouf was a great character, and guess what? He wasn't trying to save anybody. He was just a dude in high school / college trying to not die.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
Yeah.
And guess what? That's as much drive as any of us need, is just not to die.
Right.
And it worked great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I did want to rewatch Transformers 1 before this, and I didn't, but I probably still will because I very much do enjoy it. Because that's also got our boy from Too Fast, Too Furious and the Furious movies. So not Ramon. Whatever his name is. You know who I'm talking about?
Roman?
Yeah.
Oh, Roman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's in those movies. Okay. You got anything else you want to say?
Not really.
Good. Sorry. This is the first movie I've dogged in a while.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, we've had a
lot of meh.
And we've had some like conflicting opinions on stuff.
Yeah.
Between the three of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a 2 for me.
Okay. I think 2 is where I'm gonna sit. I don't think it's low enough to be a 2.5. Or sorry,
Or
I don't.
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. I think 2 is a decent sit because
Like the graphics are good.
the graphics are good. The action is fun to watch.
Yeah. If you don't think about it at all.
Yes. And the acting isn't like dog shit. It's
Yeah.
just like I don't really care about some of the emotional stuff that they're trying to shove down my throat.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't remember the last part. But and it does have some funny bits. Like it has
some fun 90s references.
that's almost a knock on it.
Yeah.
But it does have some it has some good one-liners in there that are funny. And as bad as Pete Davidson's thing was, his character was still funny.
Yeah.
I still had to laugh with it. I still had to laugh with some of the characters. It didn't really. The woman bike. They just did not give two shits that she had any lines or any like. They gave more light and screen time to the two that came out of nowhere, the plane and the nerd dude.
Yeah.
That the woman they're like, well, we've got to have a woman transformer, so throw it in there. But then they just didn't do anything with her.
Yeah.
She was just 90% of the time she was just holding her side because she just got beat the fuck up. But
that's another thing. Like you said with power levels. Sorry, I know we're wrapping up, but
yeah, no, it's all good.
They even some of them take some pretty serious hits that should be enough based on what we've seen to like
take them down for a little bit,
incapacitate them. Yeah. Anyway, and
they just heal instantly.
Yeah.
There's no like
they got that internal repair mechanism.
Apparently. Last thing I'll say is God damn it. I had it right before you started.
Oh no. I cut it off. You got this. Transformers.
The woman. Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's because it's okay. I think the reason why people do love these movies so much, not this one specifically, but the entire Transformers franchise or whatever, is it does do a good job of nailing in the like masculine energy. Like these Transformers have a very masculine energy about them. They're protectors.
Yeah.
They use violence when needed. They're family oriented and all this kind of stuff. They always are willing to sacrifice themselves.
Basically, the Fast and Furious movies.
Not quite, but yes, that's the reason why people like those too,
Yeah.
is because of that aspects. But and there's always a moment where one of them is going to sacrifice themselves for the greater good or for the rest of them, and those are very male positive things that attract male audiences. And so I think that's maybe why so many people like the whole franchise, because there's always that bit, and there's always usually men. There are female Transformers, but them wanting to go in and fight for those that can't and all that kind of stuff. So I was thinking of that during the last couple scenes when Optimus Prime always comes up right when needed and is willing to fight and blah blah blah. I'm willing to sacrifice myself so that everybody can leave, and then he doesn't actually sacrifice himself because he just hits the thing and it doesn't actually explode. It just sucks everyone in.
After they just said, if we destroy this, it's a supernova explosion.
Yes. Yep. That's why they have the access codes, and she already put in the code, and it doesn't matter because I guess if you shoot it after you put in the access code, it doesn't do anything. And why didn't he just shoot it from the beginning? Because if it still would have gone through, if it was broken,
who knows, man?
Like I said, there's no reason, there's no rhyme or reason for anything. Things just happen so that the next thing can happen.
Yeah.
Okay, that's our review. We've got two twos. We got 2 twos up in here. Next week, I don't remember.
The Flash.
Okay, so I'm going to be shooting on a movie 2 weeks in a row. So can't wait to watch that and talk about it. We do have one DCU big fan up in here. So we'll see if he joins me in the trashing or not. We'll see.
People are saying it's good.
Yeah, well, people are dumb. So.
And on that note,
we out. See you guys.
Hey, moron!
You talking to me? You talking to me?
And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Hello?
What an idiot!
Well, what do you expect? I'm the movie Moron.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Don't call me stupid.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people! I've known sheep that could outwit you.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
No, none taken.